We got one on Roman Anthony. Would you like to start with that one, Lucy?
The positive Roman Anthony updates are furiously coming in because Roman Anthony has advanced from T-work to taking overhand BP per Ari Alexander.
Okay.
And they will continue to introduce new things as they monitor how his hand reacts. So positive for now. Could there be a setback? Sure, setbacks could always happen as they monitor the progress, but that's a positive for him. Overhand BP is massive. He can grip a bat. Yep. He can swing a bat. That is really good.
So the update here, the next update is when do we start talking about rehab assignments?
Yes.
This is different from pitchers. I know there's an update on Garrett Crochet, but it feels like Roman Anthony could legitimately return to the team at some point. He'll need an extended rehab time to get his timing down and everything, but that's significant news. And Garrett Crochet is now throwing at 50 to 60.
All right.
That's a great update as well.
This is another update coming out from Chad Tracy today. That is significant. Is he going to be back in time? Are they going to be able to get him stretched out? Is he a starter? Is he a reliever? I don't know. Are you even getting him back at all? This is August. Time is of the element and time is of the essence here for Garrett Crochet, but undeniably both very positive pieces of news coming out of
all right.
Fenway Park today.
Some good news as we welcome in Steve Buckley of The Athletic, Buck in Boston.
Yay.
Buck, it's Lucy. It's Matt McCarthy.
Buck.
It's Joe Murray. First, I'm not going to tell you that Lucy thinks The Godfather's boring. I'm not going to do that. Okay?
Oh, boy.
I knew Buck was going to be so disappointed in me.
I'll lay off that one.
That's the whole show.
Yeah, I know. And listen, the reason why is because we kind of all feel, maybe not Lucy, that it was a little Michael Corleone.
I know what that means.
When it comes to maybe some of Craig Breslow's moves. They got rid of 5 of 6 first-round picks. Marcelo Meyer's gone. They've moved on from some of the pieces here. And
They took care of all family business.
that's exactly here. So, yes, your thoughts on the trade deadline and the acquisitions and Breslow being aggressive?
Well, okay, so intellectually, I have a hard time. This has been a thing of mine for years. I know we all do it, assigning grades to trades and drafts and so forth. None of these people have played for their new teams yet, but we have to assign a grade. So I get that. It's fun for the whole family. However, I want to see them play first. Now, there's another way to look at it. It's called being aggressive. They weren't aggressive last year. They weren't aggressive the year before. They're kind of in the same spot, believe it or not, that they were, even though it looks more bountiful now because of that winning streak. But the difference is I look at the American League, I don't see a powerhouse team that nobody can beat, and therefore, why not the Red Sox? That, to me, is the crux of the entire matter. A weak American League, why not the Red Sox? You shouldn't be afraid of the Tampa Bay Rays. You shouldn't be afraid of the Yankees. The Red Sox can put together a run. And by the way, we can talk all day about the 1988 Dodgers were not a great team that won a World Series. The 87 Twins were the first team in baseball history to give up more runs than they scored, and they won a World Series. So it can happen.
Buck, a lot of discussion about how the Red Sox maybe are, this is the changing of an era. Marcelo Meyer out the door, a lot of prospects out the door for an established major league veteran in Adley Rutschman. Are we looking too much into that, or is that a huge part of the story, a change in philosophy here for the Red Sox at this deadline?
I don't know that it's a change in philosophy, but it's definitely a change in viewpoint and temperament and patience where Meyer's concerned. I think Breslow said all the right things yesterday. Oh, we don't think anything worse of Meyer. We just needed to get this lefty. And they needed to give the kid a new home, a new chance, a new outlook. This is his golden opportunity to present himself with a new team, to show what he's made of. And let's face it, he's been getting crunched on social media in Boston this season. He's not unaware of that. So, no, I don't think it's a new philosophy. I just think it's a new direction from some of the guys that they feel haven't performed.
So, Buck, what did you think of what the Red Sox gave up for Adley Rutschman? Did you think this was an overpay, and was it worth it, though?
It's so hard for me. I have not seen these kids pitch. I don't have the wealth of knowledge. I'm a columnist. I haven't been. Funny thing is, I'm going to Worcester a week from Saturday. I'm going to Portland a week from Sunday. So I'm going to be seeing minor league baseball. I just haven't seen it yet. So it's hard for me to put my stamp on it. I can tell you what the smarties at The Athletic are writing, and the smarties at the Globe, and the smarties at the Herald, and they all say they've given up some great prospects. But you go back to 2020, 2021, look at where their prospects were at that time. I remember years ago, they gave up guys named Jay Yanako and Matt Kinney to get, I think, Mike Stanley. And Yanako was a kid from New Hampshire. Matt Kinney was a kid from Bangor. I think Kinney made the big leagues. I don't think Yanako did. My point being that pitching prospects are very tricky, and you don't know, as great as the pedigree may be, you don't know where they're going to end up.
Buck, do catching prospects? Rutschman was a three-time All-Star, but maybe the numbers haven't been there. He has hit 20 home runs before. The injuries are piling up. Do you think it's a risk going after a catcher to help your offense?
No, that I don't have an issue with. If you look at, people always talk about winning the trade. I can't speak intelligently on the prospects they've given up because we haven't seen him in the big leagues yet. That said, I'm happy with the catcher they got because of what he's done. He doesn't seem to be on the downward spiral. I mean, the numbers aren't great, but he's a young enough guy. And catchers are really weird. They go up and they go down and they reinvent themselves. And catching is a very weird position to pronounce death on because you just never know when these guys are going to turn it around. They needed an upgrade. Any catcher they got was going to be an improvement. Let's begin right there. So I'm excited about the catcher they got.
Do you think Rutschman is a franchise catcher, Buck? And how do you even qualify that? I mean, or what is your definition of a franchise catcher? Because that's a word
Carlton
that
Fisk.
yeah, right, exactly. that I've thrown around that.
Fisk?
Yeah, right. I've thrown around that term in the last 24 hours. They got themselves a franchise catcher. Did they get themselves?
Let me ask you a question. Was Jason Varitek a franchise catcher?
Undeniably, yes.
Okay, because I've heard that, he was a good catcher, but you go back and look at '04, I mean, they had Manny Ramirez and they had David Ortiz and Pedro and all that. If you look at Jason Varitek, I think his on-base percentage in '04 was 390, 393, somewhere in that neighborhood. And that, to me, is a franchise catcher, to say nothing of the fact that he worked very well with his pitching staff. So I don't need 35 home runs, 100 RBIs. I need a catcher who can, with some pop, who can get on base and handle the catching staff. They don't have any of that right now, and I think that's a key.
So what these trades said to me was that, and to other people too, is that this team is World Series or bust, and this team is gearing up for a run in October. How far do you realistically think this Red Sox team can go?
I think they can realistically go to the World Series, and I count myself blessed that I never got around to writing the column saying that Breslow should be fired. I thought that he should be. I never got around to writing they should trade everybody and start over because I thought they should. I just didn't get around to it. So I'm able to sit comfortably numb here and start anew with this team. I like what they're doing. I don't like the rest of the American League. And this is going to sound like a bumper sticker, but why not the Red Sox?
Buck, you said you never wrote the column calling for Breslow's head. I think a lot of people did. Sean McAdam had written earlier this year, suggesting that maybe Breslow's job was potentially in jeopardy. Do you think any of that may have played into the decision to be so aggressive at the deadline yesterday, trading two of your top six prospects, trading Marcelo Meyer, who's probably not going to help the team this year? You think that had anything to do with it?
I don't think so, and I would have agreed with what Sean wrote. He's got his finger on the pulse pretty good. I don't think that Breslow caved to that kind of pressure because, if anything, I think he's ignorant of it because he just doesn't. He's not comfortable dealing in the public marketplace, media-wise and all that. So he may have just ignored it. I do think that, and I'm guessing, that he looked at last year's team and didn't see a team capable of going to the World Series. So he didn't make those big moves. I think he looks at this team, in particular, what it's done, what it did in July. He surveys the rest of the American League and says, you know what? this team can get to the World Series. And again, you look through baseball history, and there are always teams. Now, I know the 1960s Dodgers had Koufax and Drysdale and all that, but they had a bunch of 260 hitters too. And again, the Twins in '87, the Dodgers in '88, the Red Sox in '67 were supposed to get mauled by the Cardinals, and they took them to 7 games. So these weird things can happen, and to me, the stage is set for that kind of team. The '02 Angels went on a run, just like the Red Sox did this year, and ended up winning the World Series. So again, I think there's a path there for this to happen.
Buck, you're such a historian. There's the '88 Morgan Magic. Now there's the show and go Chad Sox. They're doing it without an ace, and they're doing it without potentially a 30 home run hitter. Like, any comparisons there? And are there any other teams that have gone on a run the way that this team has without their ace and without their power hitter?
I mean, the only thing I would say is that the '88 Red Sox had some real big, strong veterans. You know, they had Clemens, and they had Rice, and they had Dwight Evans and Wade Boggs, and you know, this team I don't think has that kind of veteran. I mean, they've got Chapman; he's going to the Hall of Fame. I get that, but no, this is a very different kind of team. And every time I look at it, sometimes I see the 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the lineup, and I get them all mixed up. Which one is the kid from here, and which one just came up from Worcester, and why isn't it? It's strange, and frankly, a little bit of fun. I'm enjoying it.
Do you think this would be happening if Alex Cora were still managing the team?
I do. I'm not. Listen, I think Chad Tracy's done a great job. Maybe they wouldn't have bunted as much with Cora still as manager, but I think they've got a bunch of players who are gelling at just the right time. Tracy should be given an extension. They should remove the interim tag. I'm all in favor of that, but I don't think he took a lackluster ball club and brought magic dust into the clubhouse once Cora was gone. I'm too big an admirer of the way Cora conducts his affairs to say that.
So we got an update on Robin Anthony today that he is taking overhand BP now. Do you think we're going to see him at all the rest of the season or in the playoffs at all?
I don't know. I thought that he'd be back last year before, and he didn't get back. This year has been kind of a train wreck, and in the absence of being with him and seeing these overhanded pitches and how he looks, I'm optimistic that he'll come back. I don't think he's a bust. I think there's a lot of stuff's been said about him that can't be backed up with information. So I'll just say that. And by the way, we're talking about a hand and swinging the bat, and it's so hard for all those little bones and muscles to work together. So I'll mark me down as cautiously optimistic.
All right, Buck, we're running out of time. I don't like that. It went by too fast.
I know.
You know? Can we get you in here sometime? What do you think? Think you can make it over here?
I promise. I mean, today was a bad day. I'm not shared. I've been working on a column all afternoon. And I've got the old-time baseball game coming up on August 20th.
Yes.
In Cambridge, so I'm a busy guy, but of course I'll come in some night.
All right, well, I would like that because this was too fast, and I have millions of questions for you, and we can update Lucy on The Godfather.
Exactly. And I
Let
will
me know
watch
what
it
you're
before
wearing,
that.
'cause I have that same shirt, Joe, so make
Okay.
sure you tell
All
me
right,
what you're wearing. I don't want to.
Listen, it's not the first time that's happened here, but Buck, appreciate you, man. Keep working on the Athletic and the old-time baseball game again. What's the date?
August 20th, St. Peter's Field, Cambridge.
All right, I got to text Manny that too because I know he wants to get in on that as well. He's Buck in Boston. Buck, appreciate your time, buddy. Thank you.